Welcome back and Wake Up Nigeria. Now, there's always a better way to do things if we only try, is what they say. It turns out that there is a better way to protest, and that's what Janet Adetu is here to discuss with us today, here this morning. Tips on peaceful protest techniques and etiquette. Janet is known as the Etiquette Queen and the CEO of JSK Consulting. Hello, Janet. How are you?
How are you? Good morning.
Good morning. Great to have you on the show here today, and a very interesting conversation we're about to have. Now, we live in the most interesting of times. Talk about the Aba Women's Riot from the 1940s, the Eva coal miners protest, go slow and all. Now we find ourselves in a new age of activism, where the youth especially are taking change into their own hands. But in all of this, we also want to note that there's plenty of responsibility that should go with it as they protest peacefully. And that's why you're here today. Let's talk etiquette when it comes to activism. What are the main things to look out for?
Oh, honestly, when it comes to protests, you need to be very careful because it does create a lot of national and international awareness. But the key thing is health and safety, and we need to take a lot of caution. First and foremost, there's nothing wrong with going out on a peaceful protest, but let's really take some things into consideration. First of all, you need to understand the reason for the protest, right? What information can you get about that? You must gather as much information about that protest, and you want to know what the cause is for. What is the objective and what is the ultimate goal? Don't just jump on the street because people are out there protesting. You go and get your facts right. Establish the risk level as well. Is it a high risk or is it a low risk? And what am I saying? Risk in terms of your health, in terms of your life, and in terms of your safety, right? People just jump on the streets and they just don't know what's going on. Who actually is behind this protest, right? Try and get to know who's behind the protest. And then what kind of protest are they having? Are they having a peaceful march? Are they having a rally? Or are they having a violent lockdown? So how do you prepare for this protest? It's all about you first and foremost, right? And it's, some people just take this for granted, but I'm going to say that please wear comfortable clothing, please wear comfortable shoes. But you also need to take care of your health. And I'm going to start with water first before I go down to the real issue. Water, carry some water around with you, and pen and paper if you need to. But guess what? This is COVID times. And COVID is real. It's still out there. So you've got to wear your masks. And you need to have not just one, have one or two extra on you, all right? And have hand sanitizers as well. Of course, you need to have a phone and have a power bank with you. But going back to COVID times, it's amazing how we are seeing locally, nationally, and internationally, how a lot of people are going out for these protests. Hey, they're not even wearing masks. And about social distancing, we're not seeing that at all. And this, of course, is really scary. I'm even scared about the outcome of what's going on around us today, just because of what we're seeing, the crowds of people, no masks, and definitely no social or physical distancing whatsoever. We'll wait and see, but please be careful. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be entirely easy to do, but you need to take a lot of caution. You don't want to be too cramped up with people, all right? You must not go alone. Please go with someone or with a group of people. And if possible, God forbid, in the event of anything, always have some emergency numbers on you. Okay. We're seeing so many things happening out there, and they still can't contact anyone that knows this person. You've got to be vigilant. You might be out there for a peaceful protest. Other people are out there for different reasons. They're out there to pickpocket. They're out there for God knows what,
Janet.
with ulterior motives. You have to have your eyes on the ground,
One thing I also wanted to bring to your attention is the fact that with masses of people in one place also comes the fact that there would be, waste. What consideration should an individual give while they're out there protesting to the amount or kinds of waste that they might be producing? And I'm talking bottles, paper, nylon bags, and all of that.
Our environment. Yes, our environment is suffering because water bottles and fruit and banana peels, they are everywhere. Now, you have to be kind to your environment. carries, I mean, some people might not want to do this, but guess what? If you do eat something, right, you can always look for, there's so many waste paper trash cans all over the state. If you can, and if possible, be kind enough to drop your waste in those things once you see them, or you carry a nylon bag with you, put your waste in that bag, and when you get, don't just fling it on the street, please look out for waste paper baskets.
What about human waste, however? I mean, because they're out there for hours at a time.
We are supposed to be civilized enough to know the right thing to do. Unfortunately, I mean, that would be very, very bad if people do use the environment to do that. That is unacceptable, totally unacceptable.
Yeah, I agree with you, Janet.
When we protest, I mean, we don't always have these physical toilets, but you have to look out for places where, if you really need to go, you look out for places like, I don't know, eateries or whatever, if you have to go. It is unfortunate if people think that it's okay to do it out and about. Absolutely not.
Thank you very much, Janet.
Chanting, avoid abuse, and just take care and be safe.
Okay, well, Janet, thank you very much. We have very little time, but you have passed very massive messages across here today. Thank you very much for joining us on Wake Up Nigeria always, and helping us with a little etiquette, even as we go about exercising our civil rights.